The macro-scale picture. High pressure remains the dominant influence across much of the eastern United States. Think of this broad ridge as a heavy dome pressing down on the atmosphere, discouraging the upward motion needed for deep, widespread thunderstorm activity. At the same time, a weak frontal boundary is sagging southward across the Tennessee Valley toward northern Georgia and the Carolinas. Though this boundary is not strong, it serves as a subtle lifting mechanism, stirring the atmosphere and offering a place for clouds and storms to develop later in the day. Off the Atlantic coast, a well-organized hurricane is tracking northeastward, far offshore but still exerting influence. Even at that distance, its circulation is modifying winds, swell, and the low-level moisture pattern along the southeastern seaboard. For Florida in particular, the storm's position encourages a northwest to west low-level flow, bringing hot, drier continental air into play rather than the moist easterlies typical of summer. Florida: heat, smoke, and localized convection. In South Florida, the air this morning is hazy. Smoke from wildfires inland is trapped beneath an overnight inversion, limiting visibility and lending the sky a brownish hue until daytime mixing disperses it. The wind profile shows light northwesterlies, courtesy of the offshore hurricane's distant pole. This pattern allows the sea breeze to be weaker and less defined, reducing the cooling effect that usually tempers afternoon heat. As a result, inland temperatures are surging into the mid-90s, with heat indices reaching well above 105 degrees. Convective chances are lower than on a typical summer day because drier air aloft suppresses the depth of storm growth. But where storms do form, most likely inland during peak heating, they may pulse quickly with gusty winds and lightning before collapsing. Coastal waters are a different hazard altogether. Long-period swells generated by the hurricane are producing high surf and dangerous rip currents. For aviators flying at low levels near the coast, those breaking waves below are a visible reminder of how a distant cyclone still influences the local environment. Central Florida tells a similar story, though convection is a little more favored inland thanks to stronger heating contrasts. Expect scattered storms developing during the late afternoon, producing sudden downpours, frequent lightning, and variable outflow winds. Along the Atlantic beaches, surf remains hazardous, with breakers in the 6 to 10 foot range. Farther north toward Jacksonville and the Panhandle, the sea breeze is still functioning, but smoke and drier air continue to limit widespread convection. Pilots can expect pockets of reduced visibility and haze and smoke, especially during the morning hours. Georgia: the influence of the frontal boundary. Georgia is today's focal point for more organized convection. That weak front draped southward provides just enough lift when combined with plentiful August moisture. Precipitable water values are running near 2 inches, and surface heating pushes instability into the moderate range. Showers and storms will flare in the afternoon, especially in central and northern Georgia. The steering flow is weak, so storms may be slow-moving, producing locally heavy rainfall in addition to lightning and brief gusts. For pilots operating around Atlanta, expect scattered to numerous afternoon storms with ceilings rapidly lowering under heavy rain shafts. The storms will be pulse-like, meaning they intensify quickly, produce strong downdrafts, then collapse, only to be replaced by new development nearby. So the Southeast today is a tale of 3 regimes. Florida swelters under suppressed convection, inland smoke, and hazardous surf. Georgia lies under the influence of a weak front, sparking scattered storms with heavy rain and variable winds. Alabama straddles the divide, hot and humid with isolated storms in the north. And overarching it all is the presence of a broad ridge and a distant hurricane, each shaping conditions in ways both obvious and subtle. For pilots, this means localized hazards: smoke in the morning, pop-up storms in the afternoon, turbulence near outflow, and rough coastal waters influencing low-level maritime operations. For students, it is a day rich with lessons in thermodynamics, synoptic mesoscale interplay, and the impact of geography on atmospheric processes. The atmosphere is always teaching. Today's lesson is one of boundaries, heat, and the unseen reach of distant storms.